Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa says he does not believe the United States has taken a predetermined decision to kick South Africa out of the AGOA trade agreement. Ramaphosa says South Africa is being threatened with penalties for taking a non-aligned stance on wars taking place far from our shores. The president was addressing the Africa Day celebrations in Krugersdorp earlier today. My colleague, that's our reporter Moloko Moloto, was there following that story. Was it a good celebration, Moloko? Good afternoon.
Oh, absolutely. Indeed, colorful, brought all people who call Africa their home together in their colorful attire, celebrating the 60th anniversary of, or since the founding of the Organization of African Unity, the precursor of the African Union. And of course, we also know that it was founded on this year, or in 1963 on this day. And also we know that the Netball World Cup was also founded in 1963. And for the first time this year, it is coming to Africa, and it is South Africa, Cape Town, that is hosting it. So all those combinations quite important for us.
A number of important comments that the president had to make, not just about the continent, but also about how our country fits into this continental picture.
Absolutely. The president calling on Africans to unite, saying let us focus more on things that unite us because they are many rather than those that are dividing us. But of course, there's the issue of the Russia-Ukraine war. And as much as he did not necessarily mention that by name, but he is saying that we in Africa are now being brought into wars that are taking far away from our shores. And he's saying that South Africa was never brought into it, and it will never take a partisan decision, saying that there are countries that are now threatening to penalize us as South Africa for our non-aligned position. You'd recall, Braden, that in 2025, the AGOA trade agreement, which essentially is giving South Africa favorable access to the United States. Obviously, the United States is our biggest export market in terms of the countries, and the biggest one, of course, is the...
Yeah, it's our second biggest trading partner in the world.
Yeah, the biggest one being the EU bloc, and in terms of a country, the US is the biggest. And it is giving us billions of rent. And since the criticism by the US ambassador to South Africa, we wanted to know whether the president, if he says there are threats to penalize us, whether he thinks perhaps there's a predetermined decision by the United States not to renew South Africa's participation in AGOA when it comes to an end in 2025. He's saying, look, we will go like everybody else there to negotiate. But maybe let's listen to the president as he was speaking to the fact that South Africa will not take a partisan decision when it comes to wars and conflicts across the world.
We are now also witnessing Africa being dragged into conflicts far beyond our own borders. Some countries, including our own, are being threatened with penalties for pursuing an independent foreign policy and for adopting a position of non-alignment. South Africa has not been and will not be drawn into a contest between global powers. We will maintain our position on the peaceful resolution of conflict wherever those conflicts occur.
Thank you very much, Moloko Moloto, for that update there with President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa addressing a celebration in Krugersdorp earlier today on this Africa Day.